right, everyone, welcome in to Go Throw's production of the 2025 Egmonster Disc Golf Classic presented by RPM. This is the first stop on the 25 Tour Down Under. Round 2 front 9 coverage here. I'm Nate Perkins here with 5-time world champion Juliana Korver. Now, remind me, round 2, there was slight chance of rain, and there was still some wind out there.
Yeah, it definitely was windy. Again, the wind was hard to decipher. It was hard to tell what direction it was coming in, but it wasn't a massive amount of wind. It still did come into play.
And Taylor Chocek out of Eugene, Oregon, leading the way. You are trailing her by 3 strokes. Pretty tough back 9. I remember the scoring was ripe on the front. I think you were 3 on the front, 3 over on the back.
And let a lot slip away on the back, yes.
And Emily Weatherman, DGBT champion. She really came onto the scene in a big way in 2024, winning at Des Moines and being in contention at several events throughout the year. Sofia Donnecke also jumped onto the scene in a big way last season. It's pretty stiff competition for the Tour Down Under.
Absolutely.
Here.
Hole 1, 732 feet. We have OB on the left the entire way. OB on the right doesn't start until you get about halfway. The basket is tucked off to the right, and it is inside of these trees, underneath these trees. Most importantly, there is out of bounds behind and right of the basket, 10 to 15 feet.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Egmonster 2025 here at the beautiful Inglewood Golf Club in the heart of Taranaki. We're joined here by our FPO lead card as we commence the second round, and what a stellar card we have. First on the tee, leading us off all the way from Oregon. She started the tournament with a fantastic 3 under. Please welcome Taylor Chocek.
Founder of the Tour Down Under, Henry Pearson, there on the introductions. Also the inventor of the Disc Golf Travel Bible down here in New Zealand. Deserves a gold star for that one. Okay, Taylor's gonna unleash here on T1. Now you told me yesterday, JK, that your most common reaction was just simply jaw on the floor.
Second on the tee.
Yeah, wow,
really
wow.
No
Said it many times. And not
From
just
Orange
for
City,
Taylor's
Iowa.
throws.
She's a
Sophia
5-time
was
world
really
champion
bombing
and
as well.
a 3-time Tour Down Under champion. Please welcome Juliana Korver.
And that was a nuke from Taylor. And this is Roadrunner?
This is a more stable turn.
Oh, okay. You've got 2 blue turns. This is a little bit lighter blue. Yeah, that's your money line right there.
Third on the tee from Abilene, Texas. She's the Disc Golf Pro Tour's 2024 Rookie of the Year with a fantastic breakout season. Please welcome Emily Weatherman.
Emily's throwing a lot of destroyers. Needs some help. Yeah, nice little straight skip there. A little bit of left to right wind out there.
Round 2 FPO lead card all the way from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Give it up for a rising star, Sofia Donnecke.
Okay, so this is Sophia's lightweight Halo destroyer.
Do you know how light we're talking here?
I'm assuming in the 160 class. But we should find out for the next tournament.
All the very best, everyone. Give it hopes and have fun up there.
Nice and controlled.
Okay, so picking up the same disc. Nearly the same line.
Yeah.
That's really the miss, right? Just out left.
Yeah, there's no trouble over there. I really wanted to pull it in closer to the trees, but no harm.
It's going to be a lot of that this tournament. It's just picking up the same driver. So it looks like Emily throws just a little further than you, but is still not quite touching, you know, Taylor or Sofia in the distance category.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
But far enough to win a Pro Tour.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely far enough. Well, it's more about where you're putting the disc, not how far out you're putting the disc.
So this is her Z Flex Raptor. I kind of confused this disc and the Venom a few times. Yeah, her angle was kind of pinched off. She kind of just had to chip the hyzer around that tree.
This is a tricky approach because of the OB so close behind, which is why I left that one short. Not very happy about that shot either.
Nearly identical spot that Sofia approached from yesterday for the birdie. Just chipping this Toro up there. Now, do you ever see that shot and just wonder, maybe should I add it to my arsenal?
I do, on occasion, throw from 200 feet and in
Yeah.
a sidearm shot. I'm usually not happy about it.
It feels like it takes so much less skill to just dump an overstable approach disc out there on the forehand.
In theory, I can understand that, but I've got
Yep.
so much time invested in the backhand.
Yeah. And to touch on that topic some more, it kind of feels like there's less and less players who don't have that approach.
Without a doubt.
It's like you can count on one hand in both divisions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say, in both divisions. And it used to be that the men's division, most players had both shots, but few of the women did. And now I would say, like you did, just almost all of the women
Yeah.
are developing both spins.
Just bleeds it left side. Kind of just a little quick on that release there. Good birdie for Taylor.
Par really kind of felt like a bogey on that hole for us.
Yeah, I feel it's somewhat soft, right? Being the par 5.
Yeah. Hole 2, 315 feet. The play is out along the right-hand side and have it hyzer back towards the basket. Basket is kind of protected by this tree here, but this is one of the easier holes in the front 9.
It's blowing. It's going to be Buzz OS for Taylor.
Somehow she finds a gap through those limbs, but then does find this other tree halfway down the fairway.
I don't think she throws an understable disc all tournament. And just another touch driver shot. That is masterful, JK. That's the turn?
That was the slightly overstable turn.
This overstable turn, which is still relatively an understable disc,
Well,
and you put
compared-
it up in the wind. I mean, the touch required. And Emily putting the destroyer out there. Thunderbird here for Sofia. 41 looks right there. She'll have a tough crosswind. Little tail left to right here.
Wind slapped that down.
Yeah, I mean, how difficult is it to really, your body won't let you aim above the basket, but that's what you have to do if the wind's pushing that hard.
Well, as we've mentioned a number of times, the wind just, even though you could see the flag was blowing in a certain direction, it didn't always act that way. So it was hard not to become conservative in your throws. Hole 3, turning around and going back in the other direction again. This is 833 feet, a par 5. There is out of bounds on the left, but it's got a fence, so that shouldn't be a problem. There's out of bounds as you get closer to the basket on the right. And obviously the mound that the basket sits on is the biggest issue with this particular hole.
Yeah, there's no question this was the hardest hole on the course, especially with the wind direction. Throwing straight at Mount Taranaki. Center cut. Little fist bump from caddy Jim Oates.
I was sarcastically celebrating my 280-foot drive there.
I think this is a nuke OS for Taylor. Definitely fought against that headwind, no problem. Jim's played this weekend, right?
He did play, yes.
MP40?
He played down in the 40s, and he was victorious.
All right. He's won a few tournaments in his days. Over 100, right?
Yep.
Cool. A little low release right there.
Yeah, we saw that mistake from Sofia a few times on first couple of days.
Oh, she cracked that one, though. Trusted it. And Destroyer going to hyzer back inbounds for her. Oh, she's got a Kiwi on the bag.
Staying well safe of that OB on the right-hand side.
So we're here at the Inglewood Golf Club. Did you hear the statistic about this area, Taranaki? Most golf courses per capita in the world.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, there's 18-hole golf courses in the district, and there's no people. And the grass just grows itself out here. I actually had the pleasure of hanging out with the greenskeeper, Mark, who's been the greenskeeper for the past decade, and he was talking to me all about the grass and how that this is probably the best place in the world to be a greenskeeper because it just does all the work for you. It's perfect climate.
Interesting.
A little bit of a late release. We saw her kind of make that same mistake yesterday, right? She bledded OB. And a bit out of range now for the up and down. So bogey at best here. It's a decent spot to be, though. You can just kind of jump putt over that hazard.
Yeah, she has plenty of power just to put it up underneath the basket.
So what's your aiming point right here?
I'm getting the rounds mixed up. One of the rounds I was trying to put it just above the sand trap, actually on
Yeah.
on the hill. I think that was the first day. On, I believe this day I was just trying to play safe and go left.
Yeah, well, you did just that. And it looks like Emily is lining this one up. Great angle. If that can just hit the top of the hill, it's going to fly it, and that's in trouble.
Yep, that's on the green. That's a problem. Anything that's even an inch above the plane surface as it goes over that hill has a good shot of getting on the green.
This is a diabolical approach right here. Sofia also in range. I think Star came in on that forehand approach and a little bit of a misfire there. Okay, don't hit with too much hyzer. Fortunate little checkup.
Landed nice and flat, so it didn't go anywhere. It's always a little bit of anxiety after you put your disc in the air when it's going towards a basket like this. You don't want to get it too close that it hits metal.
Yeah, it's a really good par. The mountain is hiding today.
She's shy.
As a card, you guys are going to play it 2 over. Not too bad.
Much better than the first day. Hole 4, it's par 3. Remember the women's tee is off to the left. We're coming in at a different angle. There's a nice turnover backhand or a sidearm approach. The wind is coming from right to left, making this a little bit harder to get close to the basket.
Yeah, we had a little mishap with our drone. That's why we're not able to fly directly over these FPO tee pads, but we're going to get that cleared up for the next 3 events down here. And making the correction off yesterday, I believe you faded off a little too far left.
Yeah, a little bit better line. Still not quite enough power on that one, but at least I got an opportunity.
And Sofia threw this Thunderbird a few times yesterday on the forehand. And it didn't love that initial angle, especially with the wind direction. Just talking it over with Aaron. All right, and he has convinced her to throw the Buzz OS on a forehand. Wow, look at that. It's perfect. I would go out and say most players in the division would struggle to throw that overstable of a mid on that distance.
Yeah, nobody's going to argue that. I mean, Taylor has skills that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we've always kind of wondered what it would be like if some athletes started playing our sport. We've got a couple right here. Sofia, Harvard rowing, and Taylor competed in the heptathlon at the University of Oregon. Look at this. Emily gonna float it in. Talk about the direction of wind here.
It wasn't a direct headwind, but it was mostly headwind.
Oh, look at the intensity of that spin. Kind of put the grit on her face and just hit it. Wow. Oh, don't roll. Still tricky. There we go. Got the pop underneath the disc on that one. it ever hard or weird seeing yourself on camera?
It's always hard and
Yeah,
weird seeing
yeah.
myself on camera.
You know what I noticed is that just seeing your body language, you can tell like if you look confident or if you look afraid. There's a lot you can actually learn by watching yourself, even though it is a little awkward to do so.
Well, that is a method that I employed in the beginning of my career to get my form to where I was happy with it.
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
This is hole 5. Again, the women are teeing from the tree line on the right-hand side, 266 feet. It is slightly uphill, so it plays maybe 280. The basket is tucked in this line of trees. There is an out of bounds 15 feet behind the basket.
Yeah, you have to be pretty precise as well. There's a lot of spots you can be on this green where you don't have a putt. And Emily got the box after the big birdie, and she is not happy with that. A little too much Annie. Wind takes a hold.
But that's a better place to air off to the right because you still might have a shot at the basket. If you air to the left, then you're in that line of trees, and it's much more difficult.
Okay, I'm still learning the bag. Can you remind me what this one
That is my new Roadrunner.
Okay. Couple of turns, couple of road runners. This one's going to find the bullseye. This is a Champion J for Sofia. 5-speed. Actually, you realize that these are 3 of Innova's like top players. I mean, we're missing a few.
Missing the fins.
Yeah, missing the fins, missing Cap Merge.
Jessica Weiss.
Yeah. Jennifer Allen. But 3 solid Innova representing players here. That's a fun window. I had that putt a couple times. It's pretty fun to attempt. Pretty safe, too.
Yeah, that bush that just took Sophia's disc out of the air is not too far from the basket.
And Emily almost finds another C2. She's got plenty of pace on her putter.
And remember, she's just learning these discs.
She just switched over, right? What was she throwing last year?
Well, she was open bag, so I don't
Okay.
know how many of these were already in her bag.
Yeah. I know she's from West Texas. I know they love their Innova plastic out there.
Moving on to hole 6, par 4, 528 feet. Women throwing from the left-hand side of the screen. First thing to do is to make sure that you go to the right-hand side of the Mando tree right about there. And then you have all of these low-ceiling windows, avenues, alleys towards the basket. Sophia and Taylor have the power to get to the right of this grouping of trees, and then they could go around with fewer obstacles.
Oh, a little early. Is that in danger of the Mando? Oh, I think it might have been. What do you think? Is it making the mandatory?
Well, that I wasn't all that upset that bush got in the way.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have gone past it. I think it would have been too weak.
Okay.
But it would not have been a fun line.
Oh, back to back. Same bush. This is Pro Destroyer. Actually, pardon me, I believe she's going Champ Eagle here. And that is inside from the get-go. It's going to miss the mandatory.
I got a decent kick out to the right.
Yeah, it's a tough ceiling to hit when it's so far away.
That's about all I could hope for from that stance.
Now, what was the toughest element for you to deal with this week? For me, it was the sun. I got torched by the sun.
The sun was intense.
Yeah, the UV index is just high down here.
For me, it was the wind on the final day.
Yeah.
Just tore me up.
Just gonna slide it up to a putt, circle's edge. Oh no. She hates it.
Fell over her hands early.
Yeah, she'll have to make another C2 for the par. Giving this a little run? No, you're not. Going
No.
for the bullseye. This for the par. Oh, and she doesn't want it. Yeah, that right to left, it's scary.
You know, you don't think it makes that much difference that the basket's 12 inches off the ground, but it really does, especially with the wind.
Solid birdie. That's a good right side catch there.
I was worried for a second that was going to
I could have got.
swing back out.
Oh yeah, it looked like it tried to blow out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst, the wind-induced spit out.
Hole 7. This is such a fun hole. Women teeing off on the tree line on the right-hand side, going across this fairway. Have quite a bit of landing space for the first drive. You can see that there is an OB line that comes quite tight, and then you've got kind of a funnel to this green, which is not very big, especially on the right-hand side. The OB line is not at the bottom of that hill, but kind of in the middle of it.
Nuke OS for Taylor, full rip. Didn't fully crack it, and still over 400 feet. Great position. Now, JK, what does your touring schedule look like this season? Are you playing any DGPTs?
I don't believe so. It was a hard choice. I did earn a tour card this year, but I don't think I'm going to utilize it.
So does that mean we'll hear you a bit on the Disc Golf Network?
I'll be on the mic for, I believe, 6 events this year.
Okay. Are you still going to try and play some A-tier events?
Absolutely, yeah. Jim and I
Cool.
will still be out on the road full time, just hitting slightly smaller events.
All right, Sofia. Halo Destroyer here. There we go. Nice hyzer. No chance of going OB. Plenty of distance.
And that's a nice place to be. You've got a straight line at the basket. I liked the speed. I didn't like the line. I was below the basket, so it flew farther than I thought. And I actually thought that that was out of bounds. It does happen to be inbounds by a few inches.
Yeah, this is a scary green, especially with the wind direction. It's pushing everything up that hill, and if you turned it over, it would just roll you OB right. Look how far Taylor is. She didn't even hit that.
Just wait for tomorrow. Yeah. The hole's so much easier from where she can put herself.
Get low. Oh, it's going to get denied. Just a little bit of frustration right now from Emily. Small mistakes are kind of adding up for her. Yep, smart layup there. So you are again relieved to find yourself safe on this hole.
I had a little bit of an internal battle there whether or not I should actually get it up in the air and try, and in the end, conservatism won.
Yeah, Taylor just making it look routine. That's back-to-back birdies there. Oh, you got Eli on the back today.
I did,
Good
yes.
deal.
Hole 8, 233 feet, women teen from the left, playing over this bush that you can see right behind the green to a very precarious placement for this basket. The fence line on the left is out of bounds, and the wind was howling today on this particular hole in particular.
Zone for Taylor and a little bit of a misfire and needs some help from the fence and not going to get it. With that right to left, you really need to either hit this flat or just throw it extremely wide.
Exactly, and I did neither.
Yeah, that's early. That needs some help. And somehow not going to catch the palm or the big bush and find its way into the turnip field. So Emily's got 2 reads. Aim this right at the pin.
She does a much better job of that, and she keeps it nice and flat.
Yeah, it's a pretty high level shot. Even though she's out of the circle, she's going to be happy with that. Okay, she's going putter here. And no problem. Now, as a card, are you guys talking much, or Sofia, Taylor, or Emily one to, chat?
I was talking a little bit to Sofia. It seemed like it seemed like we were keeping to ourselves more than normal, I guess.
Everyone had a caddy, so they were kind of chatting.
Yeah, and there were some people following the card.
Would you say that, as far as like the intensity of the competition, is it related to a Pro Tour, or does it still feel kind of relaxed?
Well, it's definitely more relaxed than Pro Tour. but I think because of the camera crew and the audience, it did feel a little bit bigger than it was.
All right. Yeah, the Tour Down Under really bringing the professionalism here, and really great that Go Throw's covering both MPO and
Absolutely.
FPO for all 4
Absolutely.
events.
This is the final hole on the front 9. This was a really interesting hole with that 90-degree turn to the right and this significantly raised basket. Sofia went OB on her drive yesterday on this particular hole.
That's right, just a little too tight on the ante. Makes the correction. Honestly, with a little bit of height there, she could attack this green.
Nice safe layup.
So this is the Venom for Taylor. Looks like she's lining up a big forehand across the sidewalk. And gonna find the little pocket of the fairway there.
She's safe.
Okay, so what are we reading right there? Taking in the wind?
I didn't even realize there was a chance to go over the sidewalk until I watched Sofia and Taylor do it on day 1. And so I thought I would give it a try, which was not the right call.
Keep flying. Don't curl. And it's playing as a river. So it's hard to land it there. Even if you were trying, it's hard to land it there.
Right.
Well, that's what happens when you step out of your lane, JK.
I know.
You tried to do what they did.
They pulled me out of my lane.
That's what you're a master at, is just playing your own game. And here we go. Now you have a tricky little footing here. Got to pick up the back leg as you throw. And that's, would you say, automatic layup for you from that spot?
With the basket that raised, yes.
Ouch.
Lucky that didn't find the OB.
Yeah. That's a tough spot. There's trees right in front of her. She couldn't bring it too wide because of the out of bounds line.
Perfect layup.
Yeah, that's still a tough look. Right to left wind here. Oh,
No problem.
Great putt.
Little on the right side.
Bogey for you. You're back to even. Taylor gonna help you guys out with a bogey of her own from a pretty good position. All right, this is a tight race. Got 4 players within 3 strokes here. Inglewood Golf Club, though, I mean, it was a great place to play disc golf. It's the first disc golf course on a ball golf course in the country of New Zealand.
And the ball golfers really embraced it.
Yeah. All right, Taylor is still leading the way. This lead card is taking up the top 4 spots here. kind of separating themselves from the Kiwis. And that is a wrap for this front 9 production from Juliana Korver, Nate Perkins. We'll see you soon for the back 9.